bounce a lot. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Chewy's a producer and everything. What's up?
Todo indicaba que yo nunca iba a poder lograr, llegar, ganar. Cuando empezaba en esta ruta desde el ayer. Le encanta hablar al que dejó de soñar. Todo indicaba que yo nunca iba a poder lograr, llegar, ganar.
What's up, guys? I'm Joe Vargas. As usual, to my left is Magdian Duarte.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna, if you guys hear the bells going off, the timer going off, cousin screaming, little man over there yelling, it's part of the gym. We're not gonna stop nothing. We're gonna keep going.
Nothing shall deter us from making this happen.
So what's the subject matter today?
Well, okay. So I guess we can start off by little headlines that are through the grapevine, if you will. Turkey. We're just gonna get right into it.
Let's go.
Right now. Turkey. Turkey has Alalshikh has. I guess people have been saying that these health concerns aren't new. That he's had health concerns like for a couple years already. But you know he's really putting it out there into the media that he's got like a brain tumor or something. I don't know too much about it, but there's some health concerns that are surrounding him, and obviously. You know, you wonder if that's going to put anything in jeopardy. And I don't know, you've kind of been a little bit not too excited about his presence in boxing, but
yeah, I don't want to wish him,
obviously,
something bad like that. But yeah, I don't really, not too much of calling him another man, your excellency. But you know what I mean?
Right now, the biggest thing that they're kind of debating is the Anthony Joshua against Tyson Fury fight, which he still doesn't know where he wants to book that fight. And I mean, I think why not? It just makes no sense to put it anywhere except for
the pond,
across the pond at Wembley, where you can get at least 90,000 fans in there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, imagine that fight in the Middle East in Saudi.
Yeah.
Riyadh, where they doing that?
Riyadh, yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a cool fight. I wanted to see that in Wembley where it belongs.
Yeah, exactly. So. Obviously nobody wishes somebody bad health, but what does that mean?
What does it do to the ring and what he's doing? Is there somebody to replace him if things go bad for him? First of all, I wish him a recovery. Speedy, I lost somebody to the same cancer, my godfather, so I know how bad it is.
Yeah.
For the tumor, I mean, it's health is something scary. So I mean, I wish him nothing but the best. I know what he wants to do with boxing. He just has a way of doing it that doesn't rub.
It's a little brash.
Yeah, it's a little brash. So I'm not too cool with it. But if I have the money, I would do the same shit too. So
absolutely, he's brought us some big fights that probably would have never been possible. Like the one that comes to my mind is Canelo against Terence Crawford. I don't think that fight would have ever happened had it not been for his input.
I think the fight would have took place. I'm not going to give him that much credit. The problem is that, not the problem, the thing that he brought is he got them a lot more money.
The financials.
Yeah, but that fight would have took its course. And all fights have always took their course. No matter, even like Manny Pacquiao against Floyd, did it happen? Yeah, it happened too late. But all fights take their course. There's a few that we can mention out there that never took its place, but we make it sound like he's the savior to boxing. Boxing's been around a lot before him, and it's going to be after him too.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's a savior, but I do think that he's been his hand in the pot has definitely kind of kept it, I don't want to say afloat, because boxing will always be, you know what I'm saying, but he's definitely contributed a lot in these past few years. But yeah, who knows who's going to be the head of that position moving forward. I think that
there'll always be an Al Heyman, there'll always be a Matchroom, there'll always be somebody. I remember that fever when PBC came out too, and they made some great fights,
Yeah.
It's always somebody that wants to always compete and have the best fights, and I hope that, I hope he recovers, but at the end of the day, fights will have to take its course.
Yeah, and somebody who never really wanted to play into his game or, get into talks of business with him is Gervonta Davis, who it seems like he's possibly making a comeback. I don't know. Everybody's going crazy over the fact that he posted something for the first time in a year, and he is one of the biggest names in boxing right now.
Yep.
And so obviously you want to see him come back. And it's funny, the picture that he posted is Ryan Garcia over Devin Haney on the canvas. So we'll
the fight
see.
that never happened.
The fight, yeah.
That fight never happened. Ryan,
the fight never happened.
Yeah, Ryan Garcia never beat Devin Haney, so
it got
never
erased.
happened.
So when they fight, if they ever fight again, is it going to be the first one, or it's not going to be a rematch?
Oh, I think it's the first fight.
It's the first fight because the first one never happened apparently. But I would love to see Gervonta back. Obviously, knowing him, what do you think are the possibilities of him taking a big ass fight, his first fight back in a while? I think it's been over a year.
I mean, would I? No, I would get a tune-up fight, but he is the champion, isn't he?
I think they stripped him.
They stripped him, or they did strip him. So he can do whatever he wants right now.
Who does he fight though?
Whoever. Yeah. Who's at 135 right now that's enticing that is not a big risk for him? There's a lot of guys. You can go over the list, and I mean,
I would have put him against Cepeda, but Cepeda's now fighting Lamont Roach.
Cepeda's not a walkover though.
No, he's not, but I think Tank can beat him.
Oh, Tank can beat all the guys, but does he have the timing and rhythm?
Yeah.
It's all about when they fight, Right now it would be a perfect fight for Cepeda. If he gets ready, it's a tough fight for Cepeda,
Yeah. Who would you put him against? Obviously, Gervonta, it can't be a nobody, but it can't be a Shakur Stevenson right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, regardless, I would love to see him back in the ring sooner rather than later. I think time is of the essence for any boxer, and especially for him because he's already, closer to the way out than he is staying in for.
I know who I would put him against.
Who?
Rayo Valenzuela.
Ooh, can that happen?
No, because
I would love that fight.
Yeah,
I would love that fight.
That's a good tune-up fight for Tank.
Yeah.
He'd win that one, and then after that, I don't know who he would probably go after. The most popular fight would be against Shakur Stevens.
Yeah, or a rematch against Pitbull.
That's a good fight too.
So I don't know. We'll see. I think that obviously his name's back in the circle, but we'll see. By the way, we'll have questions from the live.
From
here
our
and there,
producer
interjecting
right there
from our producer.
Little Chewy
Little
Knight.
Chewy.
Or Chewy Diddy.
Chewy Diddy?
Yeah.
Golly. But yeah, so anyway, fights, I guess we can roll right into fights. The main talk that we want to take this podcast through this episode is fights that we want to see in the next coming years, like next 2 years at the very most, right? And I think obviously Gervonta is in that mix against who. I think a lot of these guys are already tied up with fight dates coming up, so it's going to be tough to really say who. Obviously, for me, I'd love to see him against Shakur, just to kind of put that, that talk to rest.
Yeah.
And who really is better out of the two. But yeah, I guess we'll start off with you. You mentioned Ryan against Devin Haney at 147.
But what did I say? Ryan versus Haney what?
2.
And it never happened, so.
So Ryan versus Haney for the first time
For
ever.
the first time ever. I have the same outcome, and I would really love to see that fight, Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia again.
Yeah.
They're both champions, so it'd be
Yes.
unification, right?
Yeah, it'd be unification.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just see the same outcome.
What excuse can you really give if you're Devin Haney to not fight Ryan Garcia though? Because he now it's not like he can't say, "Oh, go get a belt so I can fight you." He has a belt.
Yeah.
I think they're dragging that rematch out a little too long. You know what I mean? I think that why not be the next fight? But from what I hear and understand, Devin is in talks with Shakur. I'm not sure if that's real. And Ryan, from what I understand, is tied up with Conor Ben, but I don't know why people are saying that that's not a sealed deal when it's already pretty much been announced, right?
Yeah, we got called for sparring.
Yeah, so, I mean, looks like he's fighting Conor Ben in September. But, yeah, anyway, moving on. You mentioned Emiliano. You had mentioned Emiliano Vargas against Abdullah Mason.
Yeah.
And within the next couple years, I think that's absolutely doable.
Yeah.
At 140, at 140. At 130, Abdullah's champion at 135, and Emiliano's campaigning at 140.
Right now, Abdullah's showing more upside, though.
Yeah, he is.
Abdullah Mason has
Experience-wise.
showed a lot more upside, so.
Yeah.
Emiliano's special, too. He's really good, but Abdullah's just somewhere else.
That would be a great fight down the line. Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought about it when I told you, like, Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Because at first I said fights I would love to see next year Emiliano Vargas versus Sean Davis, but Sean might be a little bit way too much ahead of the curve right now on that one.
I think so. I think that Keyshawn is probably closer to 147 than he is to 140.
I'm talking about skill level, man.
That too. Skill level for sure. I think skill level and size. I think he might be too much for Emiliano as of in the next couple of years. I think that Abdullah against Emiliano is absolutely way more possible and realistic than it would be against Keyshawn. But I'd love to see that fight. I'd love to see him fight for a belt at 140.
I saw a video where Dylan Capetillo's not calling out. They said he would like to fight Abdullah Mason. I was like, damn, that's props. Like, you would think a young prospect would try to keep away from those kind of guys, you know?
No, he
has his sights on him.
You know what? I've been seeing clips of his interview, and I'm very impressed by the way that he conducts himself, the way he carries himself, and the way that he speaks as well.
He was prepped for stardom, huh?
Very much so, in English and in Spanish, which is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, true. What's your excuse? Dylan Capetillo speaks better Spanish than you.
Dang.
And you're in San Felipe every weekend, bro.
All right, moving on down the list. I mentioned one. This is the one that you mentioned, but I want to mention the one that I will mention yours first. Divino Espinosa against Inoue at 126 in the next couple. You guys got to remember, it's the next couple of years. It's not like fucking next. It's in the next couple of years. In 2 years, I think this is absolutely realistic. Why did you pick that one?
Divino?
Yeah.
Because of the crowd-pleasing fighter he is. And Inoue obviously is a monster. We're talking about how, I forgot how I was discussing, with Caleb.
Yeah.
We were talking about how he's been dropped. But I said the reason he gets dropped is because he goes for the kill, He
does.
So he winds his shots up, and when they land, it's over. So that fight is to me, it's very enticing. I like to see that fight. I really think Divino could beat him. That guy's 6 foot.
It's a tough task.
And he's hard. He'll fight you. But if the question here is if Inoue, does he have the power to clip him? Because, we've seen him fight. Will it carry? Yeah, will it carry over? Because that's not weight that I think he's never fought at yet.
No, it's not. And I do think that 122, I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, I don't know how he would fare against the guys at 126. Those guys are monsters. Every single one of them.
But he is a monster.
He is. But he's gonna be facing other monsters at 126 for sure. So that's a tall task. Even if he faces Shushu Carrington, I feel like.
Damn, what happened to him? He's been quiet, huh?
He's been a little quiet, but I'm sure we'll hear something about him next. I'm surprised he's not fighting on this upcoming card in New York. But anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think that Divino against anybody is very entertaining. He is a guy who reminds me of Fundora in the sense that they have attributes that allows them to have a huge advantage. However, they'll still stand in the pocket and trade with you, and when they don't need to, you know what I mean? And that's just
the Warriors.
Them challenging themselves to be great, you know what I mean?
Because they come from a culture or an upbringing where they have to please the fans, and they'll go in there and they put it on the line.
Yeah.
They can both easily just jab you all day from outside.
Yep.
But nobody pays to see that.
Nobody pays to see
jab
that.
1-2s. They can play it safe, but they like to, please the fans. And it's been something they've been doing since they were amateurs.
And I think above pleasing fans as well is challenging themselves to be great, because if you're great, you're well-rounded, which means that you can fight at any range, you know what I'm saying? And if you, as a guy who has tremendous length over everybody, all of your competition, if you can stand in the pocket and trade, that's huge. I think it's going to be pretty tough to beat them. I think the only thing that you can capitalize on is the fact that they take a lot of risk, right? And then they can get clipped, but that's pretty much it right there. I wanted to see Divino at 130 against Vaquero.
I know you said that. I said no.
You said no. I said that'd be very entertaining.
I got Vaquero on that one, bro.
Yeah, Vaquero's tough because he's so unorthodox. But I think Divino, I think that he poses a threat that he hasn't seen yet, So I
think does Divino make 126?
I don't know, because he's like 6.
About my height.
He's like 6'2", dude. So I don't know. I think that Divino.
I'm like 5'11" with heels.
Yeah. Golly, yeah, you definitely carry yourself like you're 6'4". So
yeah.
Now another fight that involves Inoue, and this is actually coming from Caleb. Bam versus Inoue, which I think this is very realistic in the next coming year. Definitely 2 years, but first, like, I think it's not impossible to make this fight within the next coming year. Bam versus Inoue.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough
I'm
one,
going to go with Inoue right now.
Me too.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Bam pulled it off. But as of right now, I'm just going to roll with Inoue. Just because he's been there. Hey, man, they're both ranked in the pound-for-pound list.
Yes.
But the only difference between both of them is Bam is a young-ass kid.
Yes. I think that Inoue, if I were Inoue, I would take that fight next. Because it looks like, just my perspective, it looked like at 122 he's on his way out of that division, given his size, you know what I mean, and his age. Those weight cuts don't get any easier when you get older. So I think that before he exits 122, face Bam and then move on to 126 if that's something he wants to do. But he's 33, 34, so you know.
That'll make him wait.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously if you're Team Bam, you want to wait a couple fights, you know, which is the next couple of years, 1 year, 2 years, you know, make that fight happen. But another fight that we mentioned is Raymond Murataya against Shakur Stevenson.
Now, for a lot of fans, what do you call it, the casuals?
The casuals.
They don't know who Murataya is.
Yeah.
Murataya is a monster. He's one of the guys who fought Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney in the amateurs, and I'm sure he's faced a lot of studs. He's also a real champion right now, and you don't hear about him much because for whatever reason, maybe he's not exciting outside the ring, but his fights are always tough. He always finds a way to pull it off, and the reason I think that that's the style that could give Shakur problems. I didn't say he could beat Shakur, so don't beat me up. I'm just saying that his style will give him the most problems. He's real determined. He'll come after him, and he ain't gonna be pinpoint accurate. He's gonna try to hit him anywhere he can. And Murataya and Robert and his dad, they know how to put together a game plan. And will they win? I don't know, but I know that Robert has a way of giving all the studs hard fights. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that fight has been in talks for at least 3 or 4 years at this point, and I think that it's a great matchup. He did great against Andy Cruz.
Andy Cruz, did he beat? Oh, no.
He beat him.
He beat Shakur, no?
Andy Cruz, I'm not sure if they ever faced each other in the
amateurs.
No,
who was the one that beat Shakur? Or they beat Keyshawn Davis? Huh?
He beat Keyshawn Davis in the amateurs.
Right.
Yeah,
that was another guy who
Which that's another fight that hopefully they can make in these next couple
That'll be a
of
good
years.
fight.
That'll be a great fight.
Andy Cruz against.
I think Keyshawn's separating himself a little too much from the guys at 135 and 140. You know, he's kind of grown. Maybe his body is not allowing him to. You know, but yeah. Shakur against Raymond Murataya, I'm not a big fan of. It's just a style. He's a great boxer. Don't get me wrong, you know. But I favor, you know, as a fan, I favor certain styles, and I think that Murataya would definitely try and push that. But I think that Shakur would try and keep it on the outside for sure off his jab. But I think that's a great fight. I think it would be a unification bout, if I'm not mistaken, at 135. So hopefully they can make that soon, because I feel like it's like literally right there, and then it just doesn't happen.
It's doable. They're both champions.
I know, and they're both with Top Rank. I just don't understand why that fight hasn't come to fruition. It's honestly, it's a little bit overdue at this point.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have you mentioned Hamza Shiraz against Bektemir.
Yeah, that's a good fight. I like that fight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a coin toss fight for me too.
Yeah.
I mean, people are gonna make, Beck got knocked out, but Rosado, but that's an old journeyman who's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah.
And I don't see, Shiraz having that much school behind him yet.
Not yet.
He got good size and he got awareness of the ring and his height and his reach. But Beck has a way of just.
And let's be honest, he's being looked after. He is.
Yeah.
He is. He is being looked after. In that same division at 168, Diego Pacheco against Resendiz, who just came off of a loss with Jaime Munguia, lost his world title against Jaime. I think that is a great test for Diego Pacheco. Are we moving on to the next? Because, he's at that point in his career. You know what I mean?
He needs to do something.
I'd love to see Hamza Shiraz against Diego Pacheco.
That's not a bad fight.
I think they're pretty much, in terms of like, they're right there, right? They're both contenders. Maybe if we can get a vacant belt at some point.
Shiraz has fought better fighters, though.
Shiraz has fought better. Yeah, I guess on a bigger stage, because Diego Pacheco hasn't really
Caballo?
El Caballo.
Carlos Adames.
Diego Pacheco has had headliners, but on the smaller scale. You know, tapping in to the bigger stage. But Shiraz has been in the spotlight for, coming on like 2 years now, which it's a lot of experience. It really is. And to those who may not understand, is that being on the big stage, tapping into that level, is absolutely, it makes a difference when you haven't been at that level.
Exactly.
And if you're not prepared for it, you can definitely get overshadowed by the lights, man. So I think I would favor Shiraz a little bit, but I think that
I gotta roll with Beck. My boy Toño dropped by the other gym. Toño Diaz, all the people, the boys out there in Indio.
Yeah.
That's my boy. So I'm gonna be biased on this one.
Yeah. No, I mean, Beck is rugged, dude. He's
Yeah.
You know how he's coming, and he's not. He's one of those guys that his style, like a pit bull. You know what I'm saying? That these guys, exactly what they're coming with, and it doesn't matter what you have. They're gonna try and put you out. They're gonna try and put your lights out. So exciting nonetheless. Next fight, Ben Whitaker against Najee Lopez.
I'm gonna go with the popular guy on that one. I mean, Najee Lopez is really good, but I don't know. I think Whitaker, it's either time to sink or swim. He really hasn't fought really good people, so that's probably a big step up fight for him.
Yeah.
But and that's not fights not happening. Just fights that I would love to see.
Yeah.
I would choose to Whitaker over that one.
Yeah.
He's so crafty in the ring, but can you be crafty with a good fighter?
He's had a bad showing once, and I think a lot of people are writing him off because of that one bad showing. But I don't think that defines the whole entire career of a fighter. So we're on the look. I think he just fought or has a fight coming up. I'm not sure. But speaking of fights that are coming up, I guess we can roll right into the fights that are coming up this weekend.
Are we picking now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Why not? Let's start with Friday. Boots against Xander in New York. I know we already kind of started touching on it last week, but I did go ahead and look at their box recs, and it looks like Xander has one split, and Boots has won all very decisively. So I was wrong on that one. I thought that Xander didn't have a decisive in a fight that was other than unanimous or a knockout. But regardless, I think that both of them, obviously both undefeated, going into this fight, needing to tap into that next level, which is the pound for pound. You know what I mean? Pretty much, creeping up on pound for pound, and they both have a lot, like their pride riding on this, pretty much, and their career. If either of them loses, is that a bad thing?
No, not at all. They're both taking on. They're both champions. I mean, they're both great fighters. They're both recognized as really good fighters. So no, it shouldn't hurt them. Yeah. That mindset that if you lose, that you suck. Should be done with.
Yeah, I agree. Did you finally make your pick though?
Who are you picking?
I'm gonna go with Xander. I'm getting a shit on for picking Xander, but I just something just tells me that he's gonna be more disciplined on the night of. It's a tough pick. It's tough.
I'm gonna go with Boots.
Boots is a favorite.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Xander pulls it off.
Okay, if it goes the distance, who do you have? Do you still have Boots?
That's the only way I have Boots winning.
The distance?
Yeah.
You don't think he's gonna put out Xander?
I don't think so.
He has the capability to knock him out.
He does, but I don't think so. Xander just has too much behind him.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that.
But I've been wrong before, like maybe once out of 1,000 times.
It's not a 50-50 fight. People are calling this, I think it is, but people are calling it more leaning towards Boots than Xander. So I don't know. I think I just something just tells me the Xander. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm cool with that. I don't care.
That's what we do this for.
Yeah, it's a tough fight to pick, to be honest with you, and it's a big fight, and I'm excited to watch that.
The next fight, who I'm picking.
Yeah. Okay. Next fight, I know who I'm picking too. On the 28th, on a card that shall not be named. Zuffa 8.
No, what you name it for, dog? It's supposed to be those kind of promoters that don't have a name.
Rayo Valenzuela against Edwin de los Santos. Big fight.
De los Santos.
In my opinion. Yeah.
I like Rayo a lot.
You want to bet?
Yeah, I bet you $1.
I'll bet you $1.
Yeah.
One whopping $1.
I love Rayo. He's a good kid, amazing kid. I just think De Los Santos has got a chip on his shoulder, and he's gonna. That's why he signed with Zuffa. He wants fights to be forced.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been able to get fights,
And I think that him with coming in with that confidence, I think he might come in a little overconfident, and I think that Rayo will pull it off. Just something tells me that he's going to come into this fight with way different mindset in a different place, and because he also dropped him. He also dropped him in that fight when they fought. It just so happened that Edwin got the best of him, and he was absolutely surprised. But now he knows who he's coming in against, and I think that that's a little bit of an advantage for.
So if it's a knockout, can we add another $1 to it?
Yeah.
All right. Los Santos by TKO in the 8th.
I got Rayo by.
If Rayo pulls it off, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But I know the kid.
Yeah. I got Rayo winning that one. And on that same card, we have Kane Sandoval against Brandon Lee. It's the card's going to be at the Cosmopolitan, which is, I think, the second time that they branch out of that stupid Apex thing that they have going on.
The little miniature prison?
Dude, it's very organized, but I think that you need the space, man. It's just it's too much to fight in that little ass place. But
it's so organized that it feels disorganized.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just happening so fast. Yeah. But Kane Sandoval against Brandon Lee. There's a few other good fights on that card. Obviously, we're talking about the ones that stick out the most. This is a fight that a lot of people, Brandon Lee is the bigger name. You could arguably say that Brandon Lee is a bigger name because of his resume. He's got over 30 fights and he's still undefeated. Has been with Showtime. He's been in the game for a long time. Was pretty decent in the amateurs, you might say. His name has been thrown around there for years now at this point. But Kane Sandoval is a guy who's also been making noise. He was with 360 Promotions before, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that's why he's with Zuffa, because he was signed.
Yeah.
All the 360 Promotion guys are part of Zuffa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this one on Kane.
Yeah.
Brandon Lee there's a reason why he's been with so many promoters.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's something that he doesn't want to take fights or he doesn't want to do certain things. If he was that good, he wouldn't be let go by all these promoters. So I think the check's gonna be cashed this weekend. I'm going Kane Sandoval on this one.
Yeah, you know what? I think Kane is a dog. And he's going to make that fight very uncomfortable. And Brandon's been dropped as well.
Yeah, he's been dropped. But if Brandon clips him too, Brandon's strong.
Yeah, he is.
But I'm still going to go with Kane on this.
Yeah.
I'm not second guessing myself, huh?
I agree. I think Kane's going to take it. Man, it's so interesting.
Can you let me know what's happening play by play? Because I'm not going to watch it.
No, he's not going to watch it.
Oh.
There, you know what? But, and that's that for the picks for this weekend. But I did want to touch on that, is that these fights, Rayo Valenzuela against Edwin de los Santos, deserves way more attention than it's not even getting it. You don't see it. Where do you see it? I've seen a lot of promotion being had for Xander against Boots, and it's all over. It's on Instagram, it's on YouTube, it's on all those platforms, TikTok, whatever. Have you seen anything, the build-up for this coming fight?
No, I haven't. Maybe because they were so focused on the White House. I know it's a different sport, but it's the same promoters.
Yes.
Maybe their energy was into the White House, and it's a big spectacle. They probably wanted to be part of that, and they didn't put that much time or energy into these guys. Maybe they think these guys will self-promote. Who knows?
And here's another thing. They're going in war after. There's another fight, Brady Ochoa against another young man who's undefeated. A rematch. That is war. This is a young kid who's like 18, 19 years old. War after war. With what incentive? What are you working towards? Because that fight, Edwin de los Santos against Rayo Valenzuela, if I'm not mistaken, it's not for any Zuffa championship. So what are these guys fighting for? If they're going in war after war, every single fight that they fight under that promotion, they're not getting the money that they deserve, and they're not getting a championship out of it. Like, what are they really fighting for? Because say they either of them loses this fight, their stock goes down. They maybe, hypothetically
Rayo,
speaking, get let go.
Yeah.
What happens?
If Santos loses, he's really going to be the fucking guy nobody faces.
Yeah.
And Rayo, he might be because he's had some good fights, but yeah, this is a double. This is like a lose-lose.
It seems like it. What is in it for these guys that are really putting like their careers on the line at this point? Because there's been a couple of situations where these young guys, these young prospects, are being fed to the wolves, and nobody's saying that that's necessarily a bad thing. Fans want to see great fights, but at what cost?
Yeah, but it's like, do you want to watch high school football games or NFL games? These guys that are getting busted up at a young age, they're not household names, and their careers are left over.
Yeah.
The way that boxing has worked for hundreds of years is they build fighters up, then they face each other, and it gets like watching NFL games.
Yeah.
Right now we're watching a bunch of high school kids play each other.
And another thing too is that like you got to realize how to make and mold a fighter after a hard war, even if it is a draw. Do you really want to go into another war, or would you put him in there with a guy who's coming up in the ranks and also wants to prove something, but isn't necessarily a war for your guy?
Yeah.
We talk about Golden Boy. The first person that comes to my mind is Alexis Rocha, who yes, he was in a hard fight with Giovanni Santillan, but he came back and fought a couple of fights, did well, went in there. I think he was supposed to fight Curiel twice already, which is a hard fight also. But he's being matched up to where he's at right now, not where he could be. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Guys or promoters like Golden Boy, they know what they're doing to make the career of the fighter last longer than just fucking 3 fights on a deal. You know what I mean?
Because they fought. Because Oscar fought, and he's passionate about the sport. He understands that a loss doesn't define a fighter. Eddie Hearn is the same way, but he didn't fight. But he's the same way with Anthony Joshua. With some of his fighters, they lose. Conor Ben, they lose, and he keeps moving them.
Yeah.
But these other promoters, I'm not gonna talk bad about Frank Warren because all I heard is good things about him.
Yeah.
But a loss shouldn't define a fighter's career.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. And it supposedly that's what Zuffa was alluding to with, that was one of their big promises, right?
There's a lot of guys, Zuffa, that are not fighting no more that lost on your cards.
Yeah. They're not fighting, and that are, obviously I think this is something that's going to turn into the fucking documentary later on down the line. But like Caleb was alluding to, it's like, I think this format works for MMA. For boxing, it's way more challenging to try to make it work.
And there'll be a lot of fighters trying it because they want an opportunity.
Yeah. And
they're gonna find out the hard way that it's not a good, ways of doing it.
Yeah.
If you're like Dos Santos, there's certain fighters that I'll be like, dude, you need that company.
Yeah.
But if you don't need it, you don't need it.
And don't get me wrong, these fights are exciting, but who the fuck is watching them? Are we getting the viewership? I think that the people these fights are great. They're big fights, but the layman, the casual fans who you want to target, who are gonna bring in the viewership and the money, are these people even watching these fights? Because nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. So who people know? Ryan Garcia.
Yep.
Like, let's be real. You know who people know? Adrian Broner right now, and he's not even fighting.
He's on kick.
He's on kick. Gervonta Davis.
Not fighting.
Shakur Stevenson, think what
not
you
fighting.
will. He's not fighting.
He's fighting, but he's not fighting.
His name is out there.
Yeah.
His name is out there, and these are the guys that are getting the attention. Are those Zuffa guys gonna get that same love? Because nobody says that they don't fucking deserve it. They're putting their life on the line, dude. Like, these are hard fights. These are not easy fights. So they're not even getting really the viewership that they deserve, in my opinion, or the promotion, or the exposure. That was the whole thing, right? The exposure, and you haven't even seen that.
We'll see how we'll be talking about 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, that wraps it up. I know it was a quick episode, but just wanted to get it out there.
And the bell rang. Fight's over. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to share, like,
subscribe.
comment, subscribe.
Hype it up.
Thanks to my cameraman, Chewy.
No questions?
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Hype it up.
Hype it up.
Damn, Chewy's a bunch of questions right here, dog.
Damn.
Love your stuff, a.k.a. Oh, what's up?